Hello everyone. Tonight we are going to finish a video that I attempted to make last night because, well, my dumbass rambled for 20 minutes and forgot to hit the record button. But anyway, that's what happens when you are a devout follower of Coors. So anyway, this video tonight is more relevant anyway because in our live stream tonight we were talking about a new Hudson that has come out, meaning the Lion Master semi-scale Hudson, which I think is a great model. I think the people that pre-ordered one got a pretty decent price, especially in this day and age. But when I see that after our tariffs these models are selling for $850, I don't care if it is scale or semi-scale. $850 is not what I pay for my models, and we'll kind of go over prices after this little video here. But anyway, leave it up to my dumbass to bring up some completely obscure K-line product that, in my opinion, is much better than anything you can buy today. So here we go. This is a K-line Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Hudson that was made in early 2000s, I believe. But we are going to go through the details of this little guy, and of course, since I'm a nerd, I'll give you some prototype history, because this engine here actually means something to those of us who live here in Colorado. So, the 3400 class of Santa Fe Hudsons, these were actually considered Super Hudsons. These were the largest and most powerful Hudsons that Santa Fe ever operated. They made 6, so you had 3400 through 3465. These guys are famous for two things. 3460 was the Blue Goose. 3461 was the steam engine that set the record. It went from Los Angeles to Chicago with absolutely zero maintenance. All it did was stop for fuel. So it set an endurance record for steam locomotives. These things were built in 1937 by the Baldwin Locomotive Works, and like I said, there were only 5 built. Why this has ties to me is these guys were stationed in La Junta, Colorado, and they ran from La Junta to Chicago. That was a very flat route. Santa Fe could use a Hudson on that route. Didn't need the northerns or the mountains. So La Junta, if anybody cares, it's quite a bit southeast of the Denver metro area, kind of out there in the plains, but still pretty cool locomotive here. So let's go over the detail. As you can see, this guy is not too bad. It is semi-scale. This is 1 inch shorter than your Lion Master Hudson. Okay? You have a proper oil tender, which they did very well. This is a signal sounds version because at this point in my life I did not want Lionel electronics in any of the stuff I bought, so take that with a grain of salt. But these are set up correctly, okay? Pop this cover. That's where you put your battery, stuff like that if you were running TMCC. The rest of your switches are underneath. There are a couple underneath the tender, and there are a couple underneath the locomotive. But you gotta take a look at this guy. You got the box pock drivers. They even scaled down the figures, which I thought was pretty cool. You got an operating firebox glow up there in the cab. You actually have, look how good they did on the stanchions for these handrails, and the handrails are actually thin, and they're painted black, which I thought was really nice. You got your flying number boards, which is correct for this Santa Fe locomotive. You have an aluminum painted, or a silver painted stack, I should say, and it's actually, I mean, you're not going to see you can't hear my fingernail, but that's a separate piece. So, back him up here and show you the best part. Look at the front end of this guy. brass bell, see-through on the pilot, a dummy scale coupler with an operating coupler cut bar, interchangeable with a dummy lobster claw coupler. Don't see that in this in this realm of trains too much. You have an opening boiler front. Check that out. Easy access to get to either your smoke unit or change your light bulb. K-line locomotives, especially these premium style ones, always came with extra light bulbs, which I thought was pretty cool. Good detail on your headlight. Like I said, you got the see-through pilot there. What else we got here? Oh, here we go. Sorry for the nerdness, but listen. You have a Locomotive Service Company feed water heater. Locomotive L, Service S, Company CO. L ESCO feed water heater. Now you know where that came from. The other thing that is nice is the operating marker lights on this. They are not the laser beams that the kind of some of the newer Lionel stuff has right now. This guy for semi-scale is actually pretty well proportioned. I think they did a hell of a job on this. If I didn't think they did a good job, I wouldn't have bought it. Okay? Like I said, this one is not TMCC. I didn't want TMCC. It's just got signal sounds. But you can find these guys, and they made two versions. They made a New York Central, and they made this one. This one's a little hard to find, but with TMCC, I have seen this locomotive sell for under $1,000, okay? Which I think is pretty, or under $1,000. God, what am I talking about? Under $300. So these things are a hell of a deal, okay? They really are. They run perfect. Fire it up there, you can kind of see the hue of that headlight is perfect. I like incandescent. It just looks more realistic because, well, trains had incandescent lights, not LEDs. Your marker lights throw out a satisfactory hue, in my opinion. Not too bright, not too dim. They are correct in the fact that they have green up front, red in the back. You can see your reverse light there, although since this is a Signal Sounds version, the reverse light is on all the time. Firebox glow. But as usual, I buy something for the quality of the model, and this thing is built like a tank, and it runs super smoothly. This will run slow all day, or it will run fast. Come back here and I'll show you how the K-line coupler will easily grab the KD805 from yesterday. So there we go. Now we got a train. Lock him in neutral here, and I'll, believe it or not, for a non-sound locomotive, this thing actually has a pretty nice whistle and bell. So stand by. To me, that is absolutely fine, and I like it. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of show you what else is out there. The detail on this front with this semi-scale coupler and the, you can, this little flange down here, you can bend that to actually make the coupler move up and down with the coupler cut bar. I've left it straight because there have been multiple times where I have swapped out that coupler for the dummy O-gauge coupler, because I do like to double head this. This was the first locomotive I ever owned that you were able to double head. But anyway, I just thought this was a heck of a deal, okay? And I'll tell you something else that's kind of scary. So K-Line made a scale version of the New York Central Hudson. It is considered by many to be the finest detailed scale Hudson ever made. That Hudson can be found with TMCC for, the most expensive I've ever seen it for is $600. That scale Hudson is rated for 031 curves, okay? So those of you that have smaller layouts and would like a highly detailed scale locomotive, look at that one. I picked this one years ago because this was a unique model and nobody else made anything like this, okay? The only other Santa Fe Hudson that was out there at this time was the Pecos River brass one, which I could not afford. It was multiple thousands of dollars. Well, it was like $12.50, I think. But it also was a smaller one. It was a 3450 class, which came right before this, so it was just a smaller model. This one to me is very cool. I like this. I would suggest this to anybody. This is a bargain. So anyway, as far as pricing goes, I thought I would tell you what I pay for stuff, okay? So, I realized earlier we were talking about a semi-scale Hudson going for $850. To some people, I get that's, you think that's what you pay now, that's fine. But let me show you something, all right? So, back here, we have my Southern Pacific AC9. This is a TMCC model, which I think is built twice as well as the Legacy version, okay? I realize it might not, you know, shoot smoke out its ass or whatever, but this is a very rare for Lionel. This is Korean built, this has a Pitman motor, and this thing is going to last forever, okay? It really is. This was $700 to my door, new in box, all right? $700. Next to that is a brass Weaver Union Pacific FEF. This is 8444, which is obviously the same as 844. I wanted 8444 because I saw this locomotive when I was a kid when it was numbered 8444. 100% brass, very nice locomotive, dual smoke units. It has full sound, QSI, which I prefer. I know a lot of you guys do not. I found this at a train show, new in box, $300. Okay, let's move on. I don't have all of my recent purchase stuff here, but these two steam locomotives I did buy here fairly recently. So back there is the Weaver Royal Hudson. Once again, that is, well, this is a non-sound model, which is perfectly fine with me. Once again, I found this new in box, $415. Next to that, one of my favorite locomotives, and what I think is one of the best representations of the Southern Pacific GS4. This is a Williams 4449, 100% brass. I have upgraded this with a sound card from an MTH engine. It's QSI, but it wasn't just it was actually an MTH one. I found this locomotive without the sound system, new in box, $260. I don't know about you, but I think that's a heck of a price. So hold on one second here. I've got to move Mr. Hudson because we have to talk about one more thing before we end this video, because I promised someone. I'm still here, just swapping stuff around. Stand by. There we go. All right. Last night at the end of my video, the one I did on the couplers, I had shown something on the back of the Canadian Pacific Royal Hudson, and I asked, who knows what this is? All right, so the only guy that got it was Dale from Dale's Rails. So I grabbed my K-line Berkshire here. This is a Santa Fe Berkshire, because this one you can get a better view of it. Okay, you see this piece right here that is attached to the trailing truck. This is an auxiliary steam engine. These were used in multiple ways on some steam engines throughout the steam era. They were used to increase tractive effort to the trailing truck. They were used to power the electrical system of the locomotive on some models. And they also were used to, if you see this hole right here, they were used to power the mechanical stoker, because once these things started really making power, men couldn't fire them. Okay, you couldn't shovel coal fast enough. You needed a mechanical stoker. So anyway, let me just hook this guy up real quick, because I promised Dale I would show him this locomotive, because this is a pretty unique and rare locomotive. All right, so there we go. So this is a K-line A1 Berkshire from 2005. This is by far the most detailed locomotive I own. I love this thing. This is extremely rare in the fact that I did pre-order this. And how I ordered this guy, this is conventional, full digital sound and cruise control. I dare you to find another one of these, okay? In any road day. There aren't a lot of them around. You can see the different feed water here. That's a coffin feed water heater. That was named after, it's not because it looks like a coffin, that was the guy that developed it, coffin. But anyway, like I said, I wanted Dale to be able to see this locomotive. This thing is extremely cool. And the most detailed, probably the most detailed steam locomotive I own. Well, anyway, that is it for this one, guys. I appreciate y'all's watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Have a good Father's Day. Bye.